want me to walk back?
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them wanna be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
Life on the streets cannot be easy for teens who have chosen to make their home there. Hunger, cold nights, fear of violence, and the temptation of drugs are many of the things that these individuals battle with every day. Easy is 16 years old. He has spent the last 4 years on the street. In a quiet moment, this intelligent and thoughtful young man began to tell me his story.
Me and my sister, we got into a fight once, and it was crazy because I hit her. I don't usually hit her, but I hit her right in the head. And then the house got real quiet for a while. And all of a sudden I heard knives coming out in the kitchen, so I got my knife out. And all of a sudden you hear her banging on the door, bam, 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 bam. And then my sister comes to the room and she holds the knife to me. And all I can say is, why did you hate me so much? And then all she's doing is crying and say, easy, easy. Mommy doesn't love me, easy, she only loves you. And then I hug her because at the same time I thought this was all my fault. And then I hold her, and as I'm holding her, only thing I can realize is, didn't she know the truth? Mommy didn't love any of us.
Some teens are thrown out by their parents who have chosen no longer to be parents. Others have chosen to leave their home on their own. This is the story of a young man who asked to be called Manny in order to protect his identity. He has chosen to live on the streets, in abandoned buildings, or even camping out in deserts, rather than returning to his home. Hola Sammy, ¿no puedes decir tu historia hoy?
Esa es mi historia. El otro día me dijeron que me mataron a mi amigo José. Y la verdad es que yo no sé por qué. Él fue el mejor amigo del mundo. No sé por qué lo mataron. Nos conocimos en el primer grado y no nos separamos desde entonces. Él vivía la vida como todos la vivíamos y cada domingo iba para la iglesia. No sé por qué lo mataron. Yo creía que los que mataron a mi amigo José me matarían a mí y también a mi mamá. No quería que la lastimaran, ni que la mataran. Por eso me fui, para protegerla. Por eso me fui.
Many kids who end up on the streets aren't runaways, but are what can be considered throwaways, discarded by parents who are too consumed with their own problems to raise a child. Yet, despite having been thrown out by the person they are supposed to trust the most, many of these unwanted teens hold on to their optimism and their hope that one day their life will be better. I met Iggy, who despite having to dig through garbage for meals, looks hopefully towards the future.
Mom gets government checks. Checks that she's supposed to use to take care of me. But she doesn't. Because she's using that money to pay off the trailer we live in. And to pay off my stepdad's car. So he doesn't have to work. She says she will use that money for the payments. And then one day, the trailer will be on mine. Can you believe it? The trailer will be on mine. She's thinking about my future, she said. But for now, she thought it would be better if I moved out. So I did. But I had nowhere to go.
Imagine you are a teenager, alone and hungry, and living on the streets. Everywhere you look, there is potential danger. You have run away from home and you are very scared. This is the story of Melinda, dressed in a pair of old sweatpants and a thin t-shirt. She shivers and looks at me sullen-faced. She tells me she has left home after having a fight with her mom.
I remember the night of my 11th birthday. We were driving in my mom's car. She was drunk and I had to drive for her. And I couldn't find my way home. I kept turning and turning, but nothing looked right. Then this cop car pulled up next to me and said for us to stop. When I opened my door, he looked surprised to see that I was only a little girl. Then he told me and my mom to get in the back seat of his patrol car, and I told him her name. I felt really awful because the next morning, she was supposed to hold a big birthday party for me. Pink balloons and a frosted cake and all that stuff. But tonight, she was being handcuffed and taken away. She came home the next day out of jail like she promised, and she hurried and fixed herself all up and hung all the decorations for the party. And we waited and waited, but no one came. I looked into her eyes and all I could see was disappointment. I'd let her down. 2 days later, I left.
Some of them